Hey guys, it's Jude, and it's really good to be back on YouTube finally. Coming back in to this platform is to possibly do something that you guys obviously want to see, and a lot of you guys wanted me to talk about tattooing, so I decided to do a tattoo Q&A and answer all of your guys' questions. I have them right here on my iPad. So yes, I will be doing this tattoo Q&A, and this is my new apartment. If you want a apartment tour, just let me know in the comments below. So question number 1. Also, I asked all my questions from Instagram. So if you do not follow me on Instagram, Wednesday, please. If you do not follow me on Instagram, the best way to keep up with me is Instagram. I'll post both of my Instagrams in the description box below. I have a tattoo Instagram and also Scumstacks. So question number 1, what inspired you to be a tattoo artist? What's your favorite tattoo you've ever done? What inspired me to be a tattoo artist? So pretty much when I was a kid, like a really tiny little itty bitty Jude, I used to color in my dad's tattoos. And I didn't really know what they were at the time. And then I think I was probably 11 or 12. My sisters were watching Miami Ink. And I was like, what is that? What is this happening on the telly? And they're like, it's tattoos. And I was like, what are tattoos? And they told me what it was. And I was like, you get to permanently draw on people for your whole life? Like, sign me up. Question number 2. Were there any downsides you had never realized until after getting into the industry? The downsides of being in this industry is you're gonna realize that it's really hard. It's extremely, like, you literally have to hustle every single day, every single day until you become somebody that's booked out for a year, and that takes so much time. Like, people think like, oh, tattoo artists make all this money, but in reality, we really don't. Like, some people do. There's so many tattoo artists now and so many people coming up in the game that it is really hard to get your name out there. It is a very oversaturated industry, and that's probably like the biggest downside of this industry, because everybody thinks that they could be a tattoo artist, and there are so many people just tattooing out of their houses, tattooing everywhere, and that's probably like the biggest downside of getting into this industry, is realizing that, everything's been done, you're not original, and you're gonna have to bust your ass every single day. And there's gonna be days where you don't sleep, especially when you're an apprentice. There was days where I would go like 4 days without eating because I was just constantly going. There was nights where I would stay up for days. Like, I would only get an hour of sleep if I was lucky. I had to be with my artists and answer their calls, even if they called me at 3 o'clock in the morning to open up the shop because they wanted to do a tattoo because they were at the bar all night hanging out with homies and whatnot. It's a party lifestyle for sure, and that's another downside as well, is you can get wrapped up in the party real quick and veer off from your goals. And yeah. Question number 3, did you consider yourself a good artist before you started tattooing? Yes. I have been drawing since I've been drawing since I was a little kid. Like, I started drawing before I could even write my name. I've always been really interested in drawing, and my dad was an artist, so was my grandpa. And I just kind of got the drawing genes from them. And it took a long time to get to where I am today. Definitely, I believe that anybody could be an artist. It just takes time. Question number 4. How did you get started? So I got an apprenticeship. If you didn't get an apprenticeship and you're tattooing right now as a scratcher, shame on you. Shame on you. Question number 5. What's your favorite style? I have a lot of different favorite styles. Honestly, I just love all styles. I love traditional Japanese. I love traditional stuff, like black traditional stuff. I wish I did my whole body, just black traditional stuff. I also really love portraits, just anything black work, black and gray, I love. I also love like bold lines, like the henna type styles, like mandalas and stuff like that. There's not one style in particular that I really, really love besides, I don't know, illustrative work and animals. Question number six. I think, which tattoo hurt the most? My palms. So I have cold hands. I think question number 7. What are some tips for someone looking to start the path into tattooing? Find a shop that you admire and try to get an apprenticeship there. Find an artist that you really admire, try to get an apprenticeship under them. Just get a freaking apprenticeship. That's the best way to start. Just get an apprenticeship. Favorite good tattoo and bad tattoo. My favorite tattoo, it's really hard to decide. I really love my they, them. I love my cold hands, my spider webs. I love my little crow piece that I have right here. And I also love this Wimdell Void piece that I have right here as well. My worst tattoo, I don't really have, I have one bad tattoo and it's on my ankle and I'm not going to show it. And it's not like a terrible tattoo. It is a terrible tattoo. It's a crying eye. It's like a closed eye that's crying 13, but you can't really tell what it is. I think my bad tattoo would probably be like the honeybee that I got for my ex-fiance, and then like maybe Shane Dawson because of everything coming out about Shane Dawson. But I literally got Shane Dawson tattooed because I thought it would be so funny. And I used to really love Shane Dawson, and yikes. Anyways, worst client experience. Also, who set the worst and how do you deal with that? I have had many people sit in my chair and sit like crap. I can't really think of one person in particular. I've had many. People that are on their phone and like take pictures just to post on Instagram in their story. Those people really piss me off. People that constantly shake and move and, you know, I understand that the tattoo hurts. I get it. But the greatest thing that I tell people, and this is how I deal with it, is when you wiggle, I scribble. So you're going to get what you're going to get, baby. Were you afraid you wouldn't be able to do it up to your standards? And did your art develop since you start? Yeah, my art developed most definitely more. It's gotten a lot better since I started because I literally draw every single day from like the moment I get into work, from the moment I leave, and then I come home and I paint. I literally am constantly doing art, so therefore I am getting better. I wasn't afraid that I wouldn't be able to live up to my own standards just because, I mean, obviously tattooing is a little bit different than, you know, going to college and then getting a job and knowing what to do. Tattooing is something that you can be an apprentice and learn everything and anything that you can learn under the sun. But as soon as you start touching skin and learning everyone's skin textures and skin types and how people take ink differently and all that stuff, it's a totally different ball game and medium to learn. So, I mean, I still have so much to learn. I've only been tattooing for 3 years. I'm not considered a master at my craft yet, so I'm not to my standards yet, but I hope within the next 10 years I will be, obviously, and I won't be, you know, disappointed in myself because I'm pushing myself every single day to get to where I want to be. Was there any particular aspect that was harder to master than others? Script was really, really difficult for me, and like all that really super fancy script, it was so difficult for me to get the hang of. Like, it's so simple, but the most simplest tattoos can be the most difficult tattoos. How do you feel about couples getting their names on each other. I think it is so freaking stupid because it's a curse. I tell people this every single time. Unless you've been married for years and years and years, maybe I'll do it. But, you know, I mean, I'll do it anyways. I've tattooed names on people before, and I've seen them come in 2 weeks, 2 months later. It's always within 2 weeks or 2 months they come in and they want that stuff covered up. And it's always a curse. We always tell people that. They're like, you know, getting a name tattoo is a curse. You're not going to be friends anymore. You're not going to be boyfriend or girlfriend anymore. Or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You know, and it ends up happening. And don't get people's names tattooed unless they are super, super, super special, like your parents or a cat or Amy Winehouse. Favorite tattoo that you've done that you can remember? I have a couple that I've done that I really, really love. There's this one, I'll insert a photo right here. It's this beautiful, beautiful hair that I did on a lovely girl's thigh, and it takes up her entire thigh, and hopefully I will be finishing it very soon. I'll post a couple more actually. Here's a couple more. Did you see them? What would you say that your main style is? So I do a lot of illustrative black and gray work. That's what I tell people. But I'm trying to veer off and doing other styles. I'm trying to book as many people as I can and not really focus on one hone-in style right now. So I'm doing a lot of mandalas right now. I've done portraits recently. I really love doing portraits. I'd love to do more. I'm just open to doing anything, honestly. The one thing that I haven't tattooed though is a traditional Japanese. I have not been able to tattoo a traditional Japanese anything. Nobody really comes in for that, at least here. How were the early days / first apprentice experience that you had? So the earlier stages of my apprenticeship, it wasn't too frightening or scary or anything like that. So I had to earn my apprenticeship, and I think every shop, every person should do this. If I were to have an apprentice, I would have if somebody wanted to apprentice under me, I would do the exact same thing. Obviously, this wouldn't happen until 10 years from now. But I had to earn my apprenticeship, meaning I had to go in every single day I went like 30 minutes before the shop opened, and I stayed and helped clean the shop, and I was the last person to leave with the manager every night for 3.5 months, up until they were like, all right, like, yeah, let's go talk to the shop owner because this one right here. And I got a shot, and you know, he liked my work and he liked how dedicated I was, and but yeah, it wasn't too scary or anything, because at that time I had already knew everybody's style. I already knew what everybody liked to eat. I already knew everything about everybody. I knew when everybody like took a shit, you know what I mean? I knew everything. So I mean, I was already able to get in and be able to work, and I had already had shop experience prior to that. I was at a shop for about 4 years, and they never asked me for an apprenticeship, even though I was doing apprenticeship work the entire time up until I told them that I was leaving and not coming back, which happened. How long did your apprenticeship last? So my real apprenticeship lasted a year. It should have gone longer, but it lasted a year. Some things happened and I wasn't able to finish, but I also again had 4 years of experience prior to my real apprenticeship. I don't call the 4 years prior to my apprenticeship at Artistic Encounter anything, because I wasn't actually considered an apprenticeship or apprentice until I was like, I'm gonna leave. Even though I did all the apprentice work and everything like that, I wasn't considered one, so I don't call myself an apprentice. So I don't know if you could say it was a year, but you could also say it was 5 years, which most apprenticeships are 3 to 5 years. because it takes a lot of time to master everything that you have to do. Because as soon as you get an apprenticeship, you need to learn how to draw everything, every style, and master it. Paint, spit painting, oils, acrylics, everything like that. Every medium before you can even touch skin. And then before you can even touch skin and you learn all your stuff, all your art stuff, you need to learn how to break down, set up a machine. So I learned how to break down, set up. I know everything about my machines, everything. But now everything's all rotary machines, so it's like, oh, you just buy one online. So, which I use coils, so we traditional up in this house. How many drawings did you have in your portfolio? How did you find a good teacher / artist? I cannot tell you how much was in my portfolio. I came in with a decent sized portfolio already, probably at least 30 pieces of artwork. And then before I met the shop owner, when I was there for the 3.5 months at the shop, there was a guy, and I don't know if I should say his name or not, so I'm having an issue finishing this sentence, but he would pretty much instruct me on what to do. So pretty much what I was doing, I was drawing all day and all night. So the shop was open 2 to midnight. So I was there from 1:30 to midnight every single day, and I was drawing anything that he asked me to do. And we would also pick from like a jar. He would fill it up, and he'd pick 3 things, and I'd have to make a concept tattoo idea. And I did so many of those, so by the time I met the owner of the shop, my portfolio was enormous and very diverse. That's like the most important thing. Do not go to a tattoo shop and ask for an apprenticeship and be like, well, I only do portraits. Okay, you're not gonna be tattooing portraits as soon as you pick up a machine. I'm gonna tell you that real, like off the jump. You're gonna be tattooing all the walk-ins that come in, and it's going to be the small walk-ins, all the simple stuff that looks super easy, the hard crap. That's what you're going to be doing. So yeah, make sure you study all different types of tattooing styles and artists and stuff like that, and know what you're getting yourself into and where all this comes from. That's so important. That's pretty much it. Those are all those questions. I get a lot of people messaging me asking like what to do, what's the best way to go about getting in the industry, and it's just please do your research, know what you're getting yourself into. An apprenticeship is hard. It is super, super difficult. It's long hours, you don't get paid, I had moved in with my dad, and I had quit cosmetology because I was a hairdresser. I left the salon. I put my 2 weeks notice in. I was like, here's my letter, I'm not coming back in. I found Artistic Encounter, and I stayed with it, and I literally had $200 to my name, and that's literally all I lived off on for like 6 months. And like, I'm grateful that I had my father to be at his home while I was doing this, and he really believed in me. It is something that is really, really hard, and something that should be taken with extreme consideration. Like, don't go to a freaking don't go on Amazon and literally be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a tattoo machine and tattoo people on your freaking couch. Like, don't do that stuff. Like, you can easily hurt someone. You can easily get someone infected. And it's just, if you want to respect this culture and this industry, do it right. That's all I gotta say. Just respect it, But yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, good week, and good weekend. If you have any other ideas for me to make videos, I'm going to start uploading every Wednesday, Thursday of the week, and try to get back into the groove of some stuff. But if you want me to make anything, just comment down below. And again, all my links are in the description box below. I love you guys. Sweet nightmares.